process has been to give us this session. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Sunil. A very warm welcome to all of you for this particular session. It is good to see all of you, the entire VVN team together. Sunil was thanking me for thinking about VVN for hosting this particular session. But I think we all recall the best unit first. So it was quite obvious for me to think about VVN because you have become a torch bearer, a flag bearer in the entire units that we have in Berger. So whenever we think of doing something, we think of VVN as of now. So you should congratulate yourself that you have been able to. And I think I should thank Mr. Tewari because in his leadership only, such transformation has happened in VVN. So we all should be grateful to the person, his leadership, which has brought this kind of a change. So it so happened that I decided to approach him for organizing this particular workshop first in VVN. Okay, so you should thank him that he gave the opportunity to do that in VVN. So now why this particular program? Now coming to the reason for having such a program is that we had various programs, okay? But I personally think that in spite of being involved in so many work that we are as a person, we sometimes fail to understand what we are, what is the purpose of our existence. Those are very basic questions, okay? At times in our journey of life, we fail to question these things to self. So there should be some opportunity for us to actually think over those questions which we never get an opportunity to ask ourselves. So if there is a platform given, I think each one of us will enjoy such a session wherein we try to understand self. So this is unlike any other program, and when I first got introduced to this particular workshop, courtesy a Chamber of Commerce in Kolkata, wherein Mr. Swarup Roy happened to be one of the speakers. So we were there listening to him, and I thought that this gentleman is completely different than what I have come across so many people. And that's how I started interacting with him and gradually became a close friend. Though he doesn't reside in India, he is based out of Bangkok, and he often comes to India as a speaker, and he moves all across the globe. And you are very fortunate that the person of his stature is currently in VVN. So you can check about his credentials if you go into the internet and try to search who he is. But I will give you a very short introduction of his. His journey also has been a roller coaster ride, like all of us. Okay, so he had become big, but he was not as big as he is today. So he also started just like you and me. He started his journey as an employee in a company as a management trainee. His background, let me just share with you. He is a physics graduate, followed by an MBA, and he studied from Chandigarh, studied from Chennai. He's a Bengali, by the way, but I don't see anything of his association in Bengal. Courtesy his parent, his father was an army person, and that's how he used to move all across, and that gave him a very, very cosmopolitan upbringing. And that is the reason his education qualifications has been all out of Bengal, by the way. So subsequently he happened to join a corporate sector post his MBA, and then as we all do, he also changed few jobs, different roles. He was into sales and marketing, and the company like Shaw Wallace, he was there as a regional sales manager. He also worked with company like Marico, if I'm not wrong. So then finally something happened in his life which completely changed the course of his future journey. It all happens with us. It was accidental. And this accidental thing was an accident which actually changed it. He was completely paralyzed after that accident. Okay? So while he would stand, you would see that he still has some difficulty walking. But I think the course of his life and the destiny changed thereafter, and he was completely bedridden for many, many months. And then finally, I think he had a different calling altogether, wherein he went to a country like Thailand on an invitation of his friend. And then the story is completely different, because his entire life changed thereafter because somebody gave him an opportunity over there, and then he decided to become an entrepreneur by himself in that particular country. And now he resides for many years in Thailand. He runs an organization called Time International. He has been into media. He runs a newspaper, or for that matter an online subscription newspaper called Asian Affairs. And he has now invested into developing a software which I think you have all witnessed, SXA, the self-X analysis. And he has put in a lot of money, invested a lot of money in it. And actually he had some kind of a liking for spiritualism, and he always thinks that a person should know himself first before he tries to, say, manage others. And that was the interest in him, that he started developing a tool which would help in the talent management, because at the end of the day he is a very firm believer of say people, because people make all the kind of difference. And being an employee, being a manager, and then running his own organizations, he have realized that people make all kinds of difference. And we need to know people, and before we know people, we need to know ourselves first. And that's how the entire journey of the SXA started. And now this particular tool has helped large number of people across 20 countries wherever this tool has been put into use. And people have benefited out of it, knowing themselves and trying to become a changed person. So this is the tool which has been used by you as well. And I'm sure that I wanted him to be here for this training program, reason being that each individual interprets this particular results in a different way. So what better way could be than the founder of that particular tool will be actually helping you interpret, okay, your results. Many of the results which has come up through this are quite revealing. You may agree, you may not agree with many things, because this particular tool actually dissects a human, say, personality rather into 34 attributes, 5 dimensions. So your personality has been divided into, say, 5 dimensions, 34 attributes. Okay, and there are certain ways in which, say, the results have come up for each of your attributes, and each one of you is very eagerly waiting that, say, who am I? How do I interpret these results? Because I find it many things agreeable, many things which is completely not agreeable to me. Okay, and this will happen with each one of you. So it's time that, say, you try to understand the way that the founder has actually designed this and come up with an understanding about yourself, because it is nothing to do with somebody else, it is to do with yourself. And then while you know yourself, we will try to see that, say, how your personality and the personality that you work around, okay, can be a win-win cohesion of, say, different personalities to work as a team. And that's how, if we put this into practice within an organizational setup, then it is a kind of an organizational developmental exercise also. Okay, while you know yourself, but at the same time you are trying to know somebody else as well, and trying to see that, say, how you can work together. And that's how this entire effort of the organization is, to make you understand self, and also at the same time as an organization we want you to be an effective team as well. Fine. So this is what the reason for which I thought that there is a relevance of such program as well, other than the functional or skill developmental programs. So we need to understand ourselves, and that's how we thought that it's a right location, because you are doing fantastic as a team, and I think you know each other well. You should know yourself first and then try to know others as well, and that's how we will make it a very, very effective team for future. So if this program somehow is liked by you, there is a positive feedback, then we would like to replicate. It's also a test. Let's say how you as a team likes this program, so that we can replicate it in some other locations as well. So this is also a test for Mr. Roy as well as for us to see how this works out. So without taking much of a time, I would like to again thank all of you for sparing your 2 days of time, which you will do today and tomorrow. And I hope that it will be a very interesting session, because Mr. Roy happens to be a very, very good speaker. Okay, he speaks in the global platforms. So though this is a very small group, okay, so I have heard him speak. He's a fantastic orator. He can speak in multiple languages. So Hindi will also not be very difficult for him. And also at the same time, let me tell you that person of his personality, he adapts to the situation very well, which I have always appreciated. So he moves in a different forum altogether, but at the same time, he can come down and be adaptive to people at all levels. So that makes his personality completely different. I think he recently came for a Pravasi Bharatiya forum, which Mr. Modi organized in Varanasi. So yesterday night when I came, he was sharing about how 10,000 delegates from all across the country, all Pravasi Bharati who are working and are based across the globe, have assembled in the holy city of Varanasi, and how the government of India took care of them, of taking all the delegates from Varanasi to Allahabad, to the Kumbh Mela, and then back to Delhi. And then the 26th of January, the Republic Day celebration was also with the Pravasi Bharati. So it was a week-long affair. So he was there, part of this entire thing, and it was good to know that India is doing so well, and from the eyes of a Pravasi Bharati. So it was really good to know that how the people who are residing out of the country are perceiving India of now. Okay. So without now speaking more, I would give Mr. Roy an opportunity to start this session, and I'm sure that he will make it very, very interesting. And I'm looking forward to, I decided to come all the way because I also wanted to witness that how this particular exercise is being conducted. Though I'm aware about it, I have also gone through this particular exercise, but I have never attended a training program, that how he interprets the subject of self-X analysis. So that was the reason for me to come down. I would like to thank each one of you for sparing your time as well. Thank you.
Such a, you were so kind to say so many kind words about me. I only hope I can be worthy of that. First of all, namaskar and greetings. And I'm absolutely delighted. In fact, in Hindi it should be, I'm full of Anand to be in Anand. What else can I say? Because, Satchit Anand is the goal, as the Vedas say. And I call this the land of Dwarkadhish, because he is the presiding deity of our Sanatana Dharma. And he chose this land thousands of years ago to do what he did. And such energies are always there, they never go away, they're all present, I can feel that. And so I'm absolutely humbled and honored to be invited by Mr. Das and warmly welcomed yesterday by Mr. Tewari. And Sunilji has become, a brother by just one evening, because he took me all around and ended with a Gujarati thali at a place called Divine Dining. So what else can I ask for? So I'm full of I could feel the grace and the energy, and I was in your hand, and I could see, you know, the dedication that is going on there under the leadership of Mr. Tewari. And so, what we'll do is, they just said we'll have a tea break in 10 minutes. So, I'll have my say and then we can begin. As Shubhashish ji rightly said, I mean, he wanted me to introduce myself. I'll do that. But the thing is that before I begin my story, after tea break, we'll do an exercise on self. You know, I mean, this word is just 4-letter word because in the self-X analysis, we look at it. There are 2 letters, 2 words and 1 letter. The 2 words are self, analysis, and X. Now, analysis is nothing to discuss because we have become masters of analysis in the last, 100 years, in everything we do. And all of you are executives. So, I mean, executive means analysis is part of your toolkit. So, there is nothing to explain about analysis. Analysis क्या होता है? हम सबको मालूम है. So, रह गया 1 letter and 1 word. So, self, it's a 4-letter word. But it may take, it has taken us millions of years to understand the self. So we'll try a little 10 minutes, 20 minute exercise to understand what is the meaning of the word self. And from the self will emerge, as if you know, the letter X is a symbol. It's not only a letter, but it's a symbol of ancient times. And it's 2 swords crossed, it's a crossing, it's a transformation. X is a very mysterious, unknown. So X represents a lot of meaning in it. That's why I put that X. What is that unknown in all of us, personally? And when you mentioned about, my journey last week across Varanasi and Allahabad and Kumbh Mela, and the greatest saints of our country, or actually for the world, have lived and worked and taught. We look at them all, they have always said one thing. We all having different paths. But one common thing they have all said, that knowing yourself is knowing everything. Because one was truly known himself, उसके बाद कोई बसता ही नहीं जानने के लिए, जो अपने को जान लिया, वो ब्रह्मांड जान लिया. I think you know that, right? So, so there are many paths, we are truly anyway Sanatana Dharma, or I will not go to religion, but I'm saying as a way of life or philosophy, we are, I think, the ultimate democratic system. I'm not taking side of Hindu, Muslim, anything, but just look at the thing. Why? Because only a truly democratic system will allow you to have as many paths as you want. And that is where we stand in this country, right? Jo bhi path ho, doesn't matter as long as you reach your goal. So the paths are not important, but what is important is where are you going, and that going is actually internal, it's not external. So in order to do that exercise, how does that help you? Knowing yourself, as Shubhashish mentioned. What is the implications in a corporate setting? Because we are in a corporate setting, in terms of organizations, effectiveness, teamwork, team building, performance. Now, we have put together, this as you have seen already, you have experienced. As you see, before the training itself, if you look at, there's actually a huge amount of preparation. So preparation बाद में तो नहीं होता, पहले ही होता है. Many people, forget that, but I believe in preparation, and that too mathematical and methodical. So you took the test, you had no idea about how the results will come out. We know that. When we took the test, I'll ask you, what is your, I would like to hear some opinion, feedback. If anybody wants to say a few words. When you were taking the test, what was the experience like? We ask you at the end some survey questions, so we know who said what. But and we'll do some introduction maybe before we break. So 2 things, introduce yourself and just give me quick feedback about the experience of taking the test, that's all, okay? So we need a mic here, or if you can pass it on. Yeah. So, do you have a mic? So where should we start from here? Hello. Yeah, sorry, from the first gentleman here. Introduce yourself, your name. I know you, but what's your
experiences of
when you're taking, what was the experience like so far?
Okay. Good morning, sir.
Yeah, good morning.
Myself Manish Bhatt. I am looking after dispatch department. Dispatch part in care of Berger Paints. Okay. So first of all, I would like to just know about the taste. So when I was appear this taste, I was very much happy to know about the different kind of questions. okay, in different kind of field, which I was not aware and which I was aware. So it was a best part for me to being a participant in this great session of 2 days.
Thank you. Sir.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Myself TTP Pandya, working in the resin production department. Before that, I have first time gone
Such a test.
such a test.
Okay.
So the related marketing,
Ji.
yes, that I know myself is very poor in marketing.
Okay.
So I am going to the test and the results shows me I am 100% what I am.
That it was confirming that you
Yes.
are very bad in marketing.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Okay, go on. So, yeah, I'll just keep writing. Okay. So, I'm just writing because we'll challenge everything that we come across. So we'll analyze. Okay, go on.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah.
My name is Mr Swarup Roy. Looking after this Anand stores department. During taking this test, I found that it is very other kind of test. And
Other मतलब?
other
Define other. Other बहुत dangerous word है. Other word. हमको किसी और.
different type of
Different.
such type of test never I have taken for me. Yes. And I feel strongly giving the answer of these several questions that in several dimensions I don't know about myself. And it takes, sometimes it takes 1 or 2 minutes to think to give the answer also. Because
So it was not straightforward. You're not clicking. So you're thinking and answering.
Yes, I was thinking.
So you're saying it was forcing you to think.
Because actually...
The question is about you. So.
Actually,
Yes.
actually I was not knowing about me.
Okay.
That is why it was necessary to...
That is why you have to think.
Yes.
If you don't mind, may I ask how old are you? Age is not. How old are you?
57 years.
So I was saying in 57 years you have never done an exercise to know yourself.
No. Sometimes that is okay.
And there's no judgment. I mean, if you continue, I will ask a lot of questions. I've already asked you a lot of questions. And in your report, you must have seen, there's no judgment here. इसमें कोई सही गलत नहीं है. ये सबकी अपनी journey है, and we respect every human being as a unique creation of nature. I said being. His answer?
Yeah, I like this answer. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning. Good morning.
My name is RK Tewari. Frankly, I have gone through many psychometric tests and to discover my mind, my materialistic world, how to behave in a corporate world. Few of them like SWOT analysis and Johari windows and blah blah blah. Many including some of the famous tests in IMC Kolkata when I went to an intensive leadership training program over there. While giving those tests, I was feeling like I'm running on a road with too much of traffic around, and they are just testing my patience and my acumen, that how I'm able to run in spite of all these
hurdles
and challenges.
Okay.
Some of the tests they were testing my patience. Some of the tests they were testing reoccurrence level, that how stable my mind is. This test when I was giving, I was feeling like I am sailing in a silent river.
Okay.
Because this test was giving me an opportunity to be with self. Sailing in silent river alone, it means that you are all within yourself. And the surrounding is cool and calm. You get some time to think about yourself. So the river and the boat and the sailing will give you a balance between materialistic life and the spiritual life. So I was feeling like that. That was my feeling, that I am sitting in a boat, cool and beautiful river I am sailing through. And the results, yes. When I got the results, the beautiful thing which I found about it, that I've got many results out there, that this is your improvement area, this is your threat, this is your opportunity, and this and that. This all are basically running on a hurdle road. So they will tell you that this is the hurdle, you have to improve this. Here I found that every individual has a potential. I have lot of potential. Every aspect, every attribute is either functional or dysfunctional. It means you still have a hope to ignite your passion or ignite your functionality about that. So that's the important thing I came to know from this test, that nobody is basically under threat, nobody is a challenge, nobody is facing questions like I'm strong or I'm weak, this is my improvement area, this test tells me that the human being is 100% complete basically. He has everything. The important thing is that whether you are using it or not using it. So this I came to know from this test. Thank you very much for designing such a nice, wonderful test. Thank you.
I'm honored.